What's up, everybody? This is General Sphere here, and welcome to kind of a new video series and whatnot, if you will, on the channel. Most of you, obviously, that are here know me for my video games, but I also do a lot of art-related stuff, and I actually got a lot of questions recently on both my Facebook page and private messages asking if I would be willing to showcase my art a little bit more, and I thought I'd do more than that. I thought I would do, like, a whole mini-series, maybe, like, artist weekends or artist days. I don't know what to call it. But for this first one, as suggested by the title, we are going to do the Revan costume. That's right. We're going to be tackling Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Star Wars characters. Now, I've been wanting to do this cosplay for quite a while. I wanted to, for a couple of years. I've gotten materials and whatnot to be able to do it and, do it how I want. But the problem that I have kept coming across is the mask. There's been so many artists and so many ways of people doing the mask and redoing it and whatnot. And then I found a YouTube video. Of course. Why, what else could it be? I found a YouTube video of a deleted scene from the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV series. Now, there have been plenty of deleted scenes that have been from multiple episodes throughout the series, but this one in particular really kind of made my my desire to do the costume that much more powerful, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, finally. This is a deleted scene for those of you that have watched the series from the Ghosts of Mortis story arc, which I believe is from season 3? Season 2 or 3, I cannot remember where the story arc is. But it is where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka go see this system which is very powerful and controlled by the Force. And they meet the father, who is kind of the balancer of his two children, his daughter resembling more of the light side of the Force, and his son being more of the dark side. Within that story arc, the son tries to convert Anakin to the dark side because he sees how powerful Anakin is. There is a deleted scene before he converts Anakin that was supposed to be in the show, but it got deleted for whatever reason, budget, time, whatever, that shows the son seeking counsel with not one, but two spirits of the Dark Lords of the Sith. This being one, Darth Bane, who we see later on at the end of the series with Yoda seeking life after death kind of thing. The same with what Qui-Gon was trying to do, and voiced very nicely by Mark Hamill. But the other spirit of the Sith Lords we see is Darth Revan. And of course we see him as the masked Revan. What his mask would have and intended to be. Now, the photo I'm going to show you is not finished. It is kind of that pre-final stages of finishing up. It's all in that visualization stage and making sure that everything kind of is copacetic and mapping everything out. But the key part is that all the components are there for at least the base of the mask, and really just figuring out where all the details are. Why this is important is because this is Lucasfilm working specifically on a character that had previously been considered uncanonized. Unless you read the book. But that's beside the point. This is Lucasfilm. It's not BioWare. It's not Obsidian. It's not any of the companies that have worked on any of the games. This is Lucasfilm. And if this scene had ever released, this would have been the very first on-screen instance in which the Revan mask would have been canonized. So, This is as close to the Revan mask as far as its overall design that we're going to see as official ever. So that's pretty important in and of itself. So this video is kind of going to be showing you the nuances and differences and similarities between this mask and the other masks that have been seen throughout Revan's character development, throughout the video games and comics. Next episode, we're going to be working on patterns and figuring out how to do that. So it's going to be pretty exciting. So I'm going to cut to the pictures and I will show you what I see and what can be done. Okay guys, here we are with the first photo that I got to show you. This is from the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV series, and this is from the deleted scenes of The Ghost of Mortis, as I already explained, and this is the close-up screenshot, if you will, that I snagged from that scene of Revan's mask. Now, there are some similarities, and there are also differences from masks we also have seen in the past. It's actually kind of a mix mash of multiple masks that have been done before, but as you can tell, it's very much a Revan mask. But the first thing that we see here is that the Revan mask overall kind of resembles back to the masks that was shown in Kodar 1, where we've seen scenes where it's a very much, kind of rounded off shape up top here, kind of rounded around the sides of the face, and then as you go down the face, it kind of goes into I believe is an isosceles, like a downward isosceles triangle almost, the further you go down the face. Yeah, that's pretty all well and good. There are differences, however, other than that. I mean, the overall shape is pretty different in comparison to that. It actually closely resembles another mask, which I will show you in just a moment. The points down here, given that this is like just a very basic rendering, I don't know how much detail was intended to put into this, but the overall shape we can definitely play around with and at least get somewhere close to what probably the original vision was of the mask to begin with. There is an image, this one. Whenever you type in Revan into Google, and especially in Google Images, this image right here always pops up. There are similarities with this mask and with this one in that the flaps on the side here, basically the jaw coverings, they are very similar to what is in here. You kind of get a suggestion. You can't really see it because of the hood, but you kind of get that there's something more there than just a triangle point down past the jaw, and that's it, like with the original. With this one, you have more stuff there to cover up the face. So that's very similar. Also, the overall mask design itself is very similar, except for the fact that you have some features here that are more reminiscent of the original mask, but still they are more of the indentations that we see right here. By the way, spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing this entire costume for my cosplay. This is the image that I'm basing everything off of. So that's going to be fun. So lots and lots of, room to play around with and whatnot. But the key element that we have here, and the really strong suit, is that we have a basic shape. That's really the most important part, in that we have the basic shapes that we need to have in order for it to make this work. Now, I am going to be tweaking some things. There are going to be some details that we put in more that I would imagine would have been put into the finalized mask itself. But the point is that we have a base starting shape in order to make this work. which is really, really fantastic. And this is the mask that I think eventually would be canon. So, really, really exciting. So let's move on. I'm going to post another link in the description below as well. This is to images from a Facebook page post that from this guy that created a Revan mask and also worked on a EVA foam mask, which we will be doing the same. This particular one is very reminiscent and very similar to this. However, there will be some changes into the design. So there's some similarities. I'm going to put them side by side if possible. Let's see here. Come here. Sorry, I'm just moving things around a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so we have them side by side. There we go. We have them side by side, and the immediate things is that are very similar is this jawline aspect here and the plate that's underneath. We have that very much on each template, if you will. We have those jawlines that we'll incorporate. We have this front panel, which if we go for this panel right here, this line right here, if we divide this, ignore all these lines. If we divide this like that, and we divide it like that, it's very much kind of the similar front panel design that we have going on here. The other thing that we need to make sure that we add is that it looks like this front panel also connects up with this eyebrow line, if you will, whereas this one does not have that. I believe the guy adds that later on, though, in the post. I could be wrong, but I believe he adds it later on, and it, make sure it connects all the panels up and everything. When we draw this out and when we eventually start fabrication, these two patterns will connect together before we draw it on EVA foam, just to make it work. Let's see here. What else are similar and different? Yes. This part here. This part here. This looks like it is flush with this component here, meaning that this golden plate here that wraps around the face, or the entire face, is a separate plate that fits on top of this first plate. So imagine with no lines here on this side that we have this all being one plate, just like we have here. And then we have this section that's divided by these lines here, or this line right here, and kind of filled all in and cut out with these multiple plates. It should be rather, it's a separate plate altogether, and it'll probably be more clearer when we start drawing it. Thank you, Steam, for letting me know that. Okay. Now, the other thing that we need to consider is these two flanges down here, these two parts here. This plate looks like it does not connect here to here. Like, there seems to be a little bit of separation. We see that underplate underneath, meaning that we see this part right here stick out. I believe that these little flanges here, which are very reminiscent of what happened with the original mask, sit right on top of the bottom plate here and in between the sections of this top plate. So that's something that we're going to have to add into it. As for the rest of the details and added design, I am going to figure that out and figure out how to draw that. But I'm really excited to see how this could look. I'm going to be playing around with the patterns that will probably be for the next video. But I'm really excited to see what we can come up with for this middle section here. I might be using some references from both the, this image right here and the original image from Kodar, to be able to fill out that detail. I'm not going to be using so many references from the Tor mask at all. Probably because most of the reference that we have here is basing it off of the original Knights of the Old Republic mask. So that's how that's going to happen. But I am really excited to get started, and we will finish out the video from there. Alright, so after seeing all those photos and getting all that information, we really have an idea of what this mask could become. And hopefully with at least the base of the mask there, we'll be able to incorporate elements that have been seen as similarities throughout the telling of Revan and how his, the development of his mask and everything. And hopefully we'll be able to get something that's at least close, if not pretty close to spot on, of what the original mask was intended to be for that deleted scene. I am so excited for this build, guys, and I hope you join me on this journey. And it should be pretty exciting. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this particular episode. Hope you all enjoyed. Keep Hulk smashing that like button. Comment in the comment section below if you're new. Don't forget to subscribe. And speaking of subscribers, thank you all for the 2,000 plus of you that have subscribed to my channel. Cannot thank you enough for the love and support on the series. So this one's all for you guys. Thank you all for watching, everybody, and may the force ever